Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of the British African Business Network, my name is Efuru Obua, and I'd like to welcome you very warmly to our monthly webinar, another exciting session with our member and colleague, Kay Otedola, who will be speaking to us on financial protection. It is a pleasure to have you with us today. We can see that there are quite a few people outside the community, and so I would just briefly tell us who we are. We are the British African Business Network, BABN for short, and our primary objective at BAIT is to promote and support our businesses. We aim to create a platform of support and collaboration within the community for our businesses to grow and to succeed. Our heartbeat, as I said, is growth, it is success. We believe in partnerships, we believe in collaboration, we believe in community. And we have been in this space for about 4 years plus and counting. On the back of our meeting engagement with the UK government all-party parliamentary group, where we found that our demography, the African businesses, had absolutely no voice, no representation within the ethnic minority business community. And we then decided on the spot on that day to set this up. And, so we have just been building synergy, trying to get more people involved, more of our business owners to become aware of the work that we're doing. It's work in progress. We need every single business owner in the community to join this network to grow exponentially. And I always like to say that in recent research, which I'm sure many of us have heard about, it was stated in that report that 20 ethnic minority business community or owners contribute a whopping £25 billion a year to the UK economy. I like to recite that all the time. And our desire is to have members of our business community contributing to the statistics, contributing to the growth of the UK economy, contributing also to the growth of our business community. So this is work that we are all very passionate about, and I believe that we all need to be involved in. So after this webinar, please feel free to join our network. We will share details on the platform. Joshua, please share our email address and the link for registrations once we finish. So I encourage us to participate today, engage today, ask your questions, gain the knowledge, gain the insights that we all need in this journey to grow and to succeed in our businesses. So without further ado, I will hand over the floor to Kay to talk to us on what we want to hear. And of course, Kay, as we know, most of us know, is an expert financial advisor, and he has been in this space for many, many years with a wealth of experience, and we will be benefiting from today's session. So I hand over to Kay. Thank you all very much for listening to my rubbish. Thank you.
It's not rubbish. It's the fact. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mom.
Hi, everyone. Can you please confirm you can hear me and you can see me?
Yes, sir. Can hear and see you, sir.
Okay, thank you so much. What can I say? The first thing I'm going to have to say is that Efuru has eloquently shared the vision of this great platform, and she ended up, like I've always heard, saying it's rubbish. I reject that straight away. You are doing a phenomenal work. And myself, I consider the work that you're doing to be, urgency is what I will say. We need to urgently take our place. And that's the reason why I feel privileged to be opportune to come and speak at this important meeting. My name has been shared. Okay, can I share my screen, please, so that you can see what I'm doing? Okay. So my name is Kay Otedola, and I'm a practice financial advisor with Eminent Financial. We're part of the Open Work Partnership. Open Work Partnership is one of the biggest, largest financial and investment company in the UK. So that's my FCA reference number there for anyone that needs to verify those things. Now, it is important that I set this stone exactly why we're here. We're here because there's a need for our community to grow. There's a need for our community to have the right information. And like I said, I do not take this for granted. So thank you for the opportunity to present to everyone today. And I hope that after my presentation, you have plenty of time to ask me questions. And I'll do endeavor to answer your questions. And the ones I don't have an answer for, because I don't have every answer. As we know, knowledge is a transient. So what we know today might be changing, but I can tell you that I work with a large number of lenders. I work with a large number of big names in terms of protection in the UK. So, and all I try to do, I don't work for any one of them. So that's the good thing. I work for my clients. So I work on behalf of my clients. I'm self-employed, meaning that I don't have to take what they're saying. I put all the questions that my clients are asking me to them. I have a one-to-one meeting with them to kind of like explain, why should we come to you? How are you good for our community? And like Furu alluded to, they really want to help our community, but we need to understand what are the procedures, what are the rules, what are the procedures in place for us to be gainfully, utilize all these things that are there for us. So I call this meeting a personal protection. Advice is personal. What I mean by that is that I will talk broadly about what is available. But as you probably know, we work on a personal basis. What that means is that you will need to book a time with myself to look at your specific situation for me to be able to advise you in terms of your protection, in terms of your investment, in terms of property, in terms of mortgages and things like that. But I'm happy to take questions on a general basis today. So who am I? My name is Kay Odetola. I've been in education for about 20 years before pivoting into financial services. So I love learning. That's one thing that you notice about me. So I'm part of the London Institute of Banking and Finance. I'm part of the Chartered Institute, Insurance Institutes in UK. I love learning. I love to learn. So please, I do not know everything, but I love to learn. So anything I say today, you want to find out more, please reach out to me after this presentation. So the first thing I'd like to talk about is Eminent Financial. Who are we? Eminent Financial is your one-stop shop for financial advice in the UK. So what do I mean by that? When we start off 18 years old is what I like to do, or where I like to start. So in the UK, you're legally an adult at 18, meaning that you no longer need to live with your parents. You can now say you are free. You can go ahead and set up your own home. But as you all know, it comes with a responsibility. You need to earn to be able to do anything in this life. And the point is that from that stage onward, you need to be thinking about protection. What do I actually mean by protection? Protection means that if you're not able to do what you currently do, can you look after yourself? Now, what are the products or services that you can have to protect yourself? Those are the things I have here. I'm going to go in more detail, but just to give you an overview, I like to kind of give you a big picture, then I can break down. So today we'll be focusing on protection, like I said, a little bit about mortgages, if the time permits. But I'm happy to come back and talk more because this is a very a big topic that I won't be able to do justice to. But if there's one thing anybody can take, you can take a screenshot of this. Ideally, I should have put my details there, but I'm sure Joshua will help me to share my details so that you can talk to me after this session. So when we're starting out in life, we need to protect ourselves because the unexpected do happen. So that's why when we're starting out, we need to protect ourselves. Now, when we're establishing a family, we're beginning to kind of like get, stable in our job, in our work, and things we do. We need to consider our home. Now, one of the greatest things in life is that everybody or most people aspire to own their own home. Now, there's a process in place for you to get that. So I talk about residential mortgages. You want to start out, you're a first-time buyer, you have some, your key worker, and, you have some support from your, state government or anything like that. you can qualify for mortgages. Or you can say, okay, you have your cash, you don't very well, you don't even need a mortgage. So there are different ways for you to actually own your own home. But today we're looking at people that need to borrow money from a bank called lenders. And also, when we're coming to the end of our career, we need to think about pensions and retirement and things like that. Now, unfortunately, in our community, so far, what I've, with the few clients I've seen, is that oftentimes I hear clients that when it's almost too late, that's where they're thinking about their wealth. But actually, if we've all put plans in place when we're starting out at 18, by the time we're getting to that retirement age, currently 67, 68, increasing, okay, we will be in a better place without doing anything extraordinary to be able to actually, retire on an income that we love. But the good news is that you're here today because it's something that you've been thinking about. I will kind of like start the ball rolling. You can ask me questions later on to personalize to your own circumstances. When I say Eminent Financial, we're about 62 of us in the firm. So what I say that we have protection, mortgages, and wealth, I mean exactly that. And behind us, we have the compliance team over, open work. You can check that out as well. About over 4,000 plus. So we're very big. But oftentimes you don't hear about this because you have to come to us to get all this protection that we're talking about. So please feel free to take the screenshot of this and I will be happy to talk more. Now, when we're talking about protection, what do we mean? Oftentimes when I meet clients, I hear, oh yes, I've got my car insurance, I've got my home insurance, so everything is okay. Now, the question I ask is that, yeah, there are general things. There are things that will perish. There are things that, okay, you can replace them. Have you considered protecting yourself? And sometimes I hear questions like, what do you mean protect yourself? You mean home insurance? I said, no. If you're not able to work, your greatest asset is you. Your ability to earn income is actually the greatest asset that you have. Now, if that is taken away from you, what would life look like? And if you haven't thought about that, my job is to help you to protect that. I can guide you to the different products, navigate through the different products, through different providers to make sure that you are, provided for or you're catered for, you're financially secured is the word we like to use, so that you have a certainty that if you're able to, you're not able to work, you're sick, or let's say the worst happened in terms of death, which is inevitable anyway. What is going to happen to you, to your family, and things like that. So when we say protection, we mean financial protection, and yourself is what we're talking about. Now, broadly, we have 4 products that we can use. They are complementary products that can help you to make sure that with certainty, you are financially protected. I'll talk about critical illness. Now, critical illness is a tax-free lump sum of money that you put aside through a provider to make sure that if you're critically ill, you're still alive, but you are just not able to do the work that you normally do. So that lump sum of money will be paid to you tax-free, meaning that you can then go ahead to look after yourself and not have to think about money. Okay. Now, life cover or life insurance, as it's mostly called. I hear this a lot. Oh yeah, I'm covered. I have a life insurance. Can I just please gently let you know that life insurance is not for you. It is for your dependent when you are passed. So meaning that it's good that you're trying to protect your loved ones. But statistically, most men will live to about 82, women about 83. So you are not going to die. So what is happening if you're not able to work? Hence, we have what we call the income protection. In my opinion, it is the most important protection, financial protection that every employed or self-employed person should have. Now, what is income protection? Simply put, it is a percentage of your income that is guaranteed to be paid to you if you're sick, if you're not able to work till your retirement age. You can have a short one that will cover you for 2 years. And I know that 2 years is a lot of time, okay? Given that NHS will give you, if you work with NHS, maybe 5 years, they can give you your pay for about 6 months and then half pay after 6 months. But the question is that after a year and you're not able to go back to work, how would you fund your rent? How would you fund your, Your mortgage, if you have a mortgage, how would you pay your utility bill? How would you pay for food and grocery and things like that you do? So income protection is the number one protection that everyone should have. So the question to everyone on this meeting, hearing me today, is that, do you have an income protection? And you might be one of the lucky ones that have got some money saved up. I hear people tell me that, yeah, okay, I've got some savings. Now, the simple question to you is that, how long will that money last you if you're not able to receive income? So maybe 1 year, maybe 2 years, maybe 5 years. But do you have enough money to cover you till your retirement age? I'm talking about 67. And if the question or if the answer to that is that no, you haven't. The good news is that you're in this, on this listening to me today, because I can help you gain that certainty that if anything should happen to you, you know that a lump sum of or a fixed amount of money is going to be paid to you till you retire. And then your pension can kick in and things like that. So it means that you're financially protected. It means that all things can go well. Unfortunately, we don't know what is around the corner, but we do know that we need money to do many things in life. And then I want to talk about private medical. You all know, you've seen it, politicians are elected into the office based on what can we do for, for the masses, what can we do for the population. NHS is on the, on the brink of collapse because, there's so much people that they need to take care of. So what some people can do, or you can do, is to have what we call the private medical insurance. It means that the treatment, if you're diagnosed with any critical illness, the treatment till you come back, everything is taken care of. So you don't have to wait. You can imagine a sad scenario, which I see oftentimes. Someone has been diagnosed, but unfortunately, because of the waiting list, they are not able to be seen. It's a sad thing, but actually, you could go through private medical side of things and be able to protect yourself. So in a nutshell, if you are here and you want to understand what I meant by financial protection, these are the 4 products that you need to be able to protect yourself. And I'll be happy to talk more about it later on. Okay. Now, so also you might say, yeah, okay, I'm not an employee. I'm a business owner. Yeah, fantastic. That's even good. Okay. If you're a business owner, it means that you're doing something right. It means that you're beginning to think that you want to take your destiny into your own hands. That's fantastic. All right. It means that you want to be able to call the shot, but also there comes a responsibility on your part. So all the benefits that an employee can have, it means that you don't have those things. For example, if you're a limited company director, it means that you have to look after yourself, you have to look after your staff if you employ people, and you need to look after, if you're not able to work, what happens to your business? Or if you, as the owner of the business, you are not able to be in that work. Actually, we have what we call the business key man protection or key person protection. This is actually another form of protection that's available to the business. So these policies are taken out by the business on behalf of the key people in the business. So again, they're tax efficient. What that means is that it means that if you pay your corporation tax, before you pay those things, they can be deducted, but you need to talk to your accountant. And I invited some of my colleagues or associates that are accountants into this forum today. I'm not sure if they're able to come in here, but you can reach out to me if you want to know more about, accountants. And I'm sure on the forum as well, we have accountants at the, BABN. So you can reach out to qualified. I'll say that, make sure that they're qualified to give the work that they're given. Okay. So again, if you want to talk more about business protection, I've just highlighted them here. You have the executive income protection, similar to income protection I've talked about, but only available to limited company directors and the key persons. So if you have a loan in your business, it is important that you think about this carefully. How will that loan be paid if you're critically ill? If you got a property portfolio, you've been blessed, so you have these investment properties, you have a portfolio running into millions. If you're not here, what will happen to those properties? Of course, they can sell that, but ideally, do you want them to be sold? If that's your plan, that's your objective, then that's okay. But if that's not your plan, do you know that you might be qualified for what is called a key person protection that can actually pay off those loans so that it can, the legacy we're talking about, so you can leave a legacy to your children. Okay, you've done the hard work, but don't let it end with you not being here. So I would be able to advise you on that as well. Now, who needs protecting?
Sorry,
Like you said.
Kay, sorry. Just so that we don't miss some of the questions. So somebody has posted on the chat and he wants to know, because what we do, our sessions are always interactive, as you know. So somebody has asked, what is the difference between the life insurance you mentioned here and the one attached to one's house? So can you take that first and then go to the next slide, please? Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Okay, that's a very brilliant question. Okay, so thank you for that. So I believe that the person, correct me if I'm wrong, you've got a mortgage on a house. Now, when you're taking a mortgage is a loan that you collected from the lender, the bank, to pay for about 90% of the cost of the property if you're a first-time buyer. So it means that you only contribute only 10% or 5%, as the case may be, and then you're given this amount of money to pay. Now, FCA recommends that your financial advisor or your mortgage advisor should recommend to you to protect that house through an insurance. Now, it's a life insurance for mortgage. Now, the specific work that life insurance would do is that should you pass or should you be diagnosed with a terminal illness, it will pay for the cost of that mortgage so that you are debt-free and your children and your dependents can live in that house free as in it's been paid off. So it is a different type of life insurance. You should have that. And I encourage you, if you haven't, just check your mortgage. Does it have in your bank statement? Check. Do you have amount of money going to like Aviva, L&G? These are the big names that are doing those kind of insurance. And if you don't have one, you can talk to me personally. I can help you. In fact, it's the cheapest protection that most people have. So you should always protect your home by buying a life insurance to cover your mortgage. And it will pay exactly what it says. So let's say you have a £400,000 mortgage attached to your property. We will write a policy that will pay off £400,000 to you or to your family in case you pass. And that's what it does. Now, the other type of life insurance, which you should also consider, is the one for your family. Yeah. And essentially what that does is that it pays you a lot, it pays your dependent a lump sum of money. So for example, you've put your children in a private school and they're going to be in the school for 5 years. Let's say they're in year 7. Now, you want them to be able to, finish their schooling. So you might ask yourself, okay, let's say you're paying £20,000 just for easy calculation, and you need to pay that for 5 years. So you might say, okay, I want to have a life insurance to cover me till they, come out of the secondary school. So you might say till 25. Ideally in the UK, you're allowed to write a life policy for your dependent till the age of 25. Now, I'll go a little bit further here because oftentimes in our community, some of the questions I've been saying is that I want to have a life cover till 90. Now, our job as an advisor is to ask you, what are you trying to protect? So it's okay to want a policy to 90 years old. However, your children are going to be independent of you financially by 25. So you're just using your money to buy something that is not relevant. It's not for you anyway. But so that's why education is important. There are other areas that you can protect yourself rather than paying for a policy that you don't need. Critical illness would be a fantastic one for you to have. So you have two types of, to summarize, you have two types of life insurance. One is a life insurance that covers your mortgage. And it does exactly that. It's the name is actually a decreasing life cover. Decreasing in the sense that if you have a repayment mortgage, it will go down, depending on a retail price index, meaning that the cost of, how much are you paying every month? It will go down. And hopefully there will be nothing left for you to claim on by the time you come to the, end time of your mortgage. So that's called decreasing lifetime mortgage, life cover. And also you have the level term. Level term means that you want it to be the same or you want it to be increasing every single year so that you can pay for school fees, you can pay for anything you want, or you want money to be given to your family in addition to the house being paid. Because yes, they might have the property that's been willed to them, but actually they still need to pay council tax, they still need to go to school, someone needs to look after them and things like that. So insurance is there to protect you, not to make you richer, but to make sure that the quality of the lifestyle that you're currently experiencing, you can still have that should you be passed or should you not be able to do the things you do. I hope that is a not too long explanation for that. Is that okay?
So can I ask our colleague, so whoever asked the question, do you want to say something? Are you okay with that explanation, or you need more clarification, or do you want to contact Kay at the end of the session, just so that we can make progress? Is that okay? I don't know who posted that message. I think you can go ahead, Kay.
Okay, so thank you for that. So who needs protecting?
Okay, I think the person said it's okay. We can move on.
Okay, good, thank you. All right, so I brought this in so that I can tell you why you should consider if you fall into any of this category, you need to protect yourself. You're a single person, you're starting out in life, you need to protect yourself. Because if you're not able to work, which is naturally what can happen, so it means that you need some money to be paid so that you can pay your bills. Now, if you're, you have a partner, you're married, or you just have a, partner, you both need to cover one another. So if you take a life cover, it will cover your partner. So your partner needs to cover you as well. So it has to be 50-50. So this conversation that I'll just go ahead and do it, and your spouse is not coming to the meeting, it doesn't make, it's not the smartest thing to do. Because what you're saying is that 50% of yourself is covered. So if anything happens to them, they are covered. They can, get the money. But you're not. So it should be, no matter how difficult it is. I know sometimes talking about money is not the easiest thing to talk about, but please, you need to protect yourself because you both depend on each other. Even if you're earning your own income, you need to make sure that both of you are covered. Now, if you have a family, absolutely. In fact, this is the area where most people come to us and tell us that, yes, I think I've been hearing this for a long time. Now I think I need to do something. So if you have children, you still need to protect yourself. Now, the last one, now you are, you've been very successful. You've been able to achieve your life goals. Your children have now grown. They've left the nest. It's now just you. Now, there's one product called whole of life insurance. And essentially, it means that you're not a burden to your children, meaning funeral costs and stuff like that. I'm sure you permit me to say, how many times have you seen GoFundMe? Because someone has not sufficiently taken care of themselves. It means that the community, it means that the dependent would then have to bear that because somebody, we all, they need to be buried. And if they have not made a provision for themselves, it means that you see things pop up on Facebook most of the time that, we need to, but actually, when you look at the fund that's been generated and the cost of it, to protect themselves is an embarrassment that you don't really want. You want to do something about it, and that's the reality. Because if you're negligent,
I must say, total embarrassment.
I'm sorry to say, but we need to. That's the reason why you're having a session like this. It doesn't have to be that way. We can do something about it, but if we don't take the time to, we're busy, we're gonna do it tomorrow. You don't own tomorrow. You own today. So what you do today will determine what you have tomorrow. So, with all humility, let us do something for ourselves so that we don't put the burden on our loved ones, because I don't think it's fair that we haven't taken the responsibility to protect ourselves. So even as, we're getting older, we can still protect ourselves. Now, what do we protect ourselves against? Just to go over it again, death, serious illness, and being off sick. These things are a risk that we can mitigate. Yes, death, is going to happen, but what can you do about it? Serious illness, we hope that we will not be seriously ill. We pray, we do everything, we exercise, we eat the right diet, we do the annual checkup, we do all those things. But it's a chance, it's a risk that can still happen. And of course, being sick is one other thing. So these are the risks that you can face. And these are statistics now. We hope that it will not be us, but do you know that anyone born after 1960, we have 50% chance of being diagnosed with cancer? I'm sure in the latest things you've seen on the media, the king His Royal Highness, yeah, the princess. So you see that nobody is exempted from all these things. But the difference is the financial situation that you have in place to make sure that you're looked after. And because of the advances in technology, you can see that people go back to work. And you might probably, if I ask everybody to show up their hand, you will know someone or you've heard of someone that's been diagnosed with a critical illness and they've gone back to work. Actually, I have a client that is a medical doctor, had a stroke at 38 years old. He had an income protection for £3,550 per month. Now he's well, he's okay. But because he put those policies in place, it means that this amount of money, as little as you might call it, is actually paying for the mortgage and everything while it's getting better. So think about people you know that they haven't put these policies in place. My encouragement to you today is that please reach out, check. And also, I want to also talk to people that, you might be here. Oh yeah, I got it covered. Can you please check? Is it a policy that you got when you are single? Is it a policy that you had when you had only one child? Now you have 3 children. Is it a policy that you had before you went and took more money from your mortgage? Please, you're encouraged to check this thing on a yearly basis. Just like you have breakfast and dinner and stuff like that. It is your responsibility to make sure that you look after your financial situation. And even if your advisor is not, booking up this meeting, you are expected to reach out to them and make sure that you book an annual, complimentary meeting so that they can review all those things for you and make sure that you're adequately protected. So these are just some statistics for you. And the questions I want to leave everybody with today is this. If something were to happen to you, how would you pay your mortgage and your bills? If you do not have a definite answer, please reach out to me. I'll help you have an answer for that. Now, if something should happen to you, you're off sick, how will you support your family? When I say off sick, I'm not talking about 2 weeks off. I'm not talking about 3 months off. If you cannot go back to work for 5 years, for example, I'm sure you would have heard people that would not be able to go back to work. If you do not have an answer to what will happen to you, please reach out to me. I can help you put a financial protection in place to cover those things. These companies are out there. And can I also stress the fact that people that go online and say, yes, I'm going to get it cheaper. The products that we give you are not the things that you see online. The version that you're going to be seeing, a lot of the things have been excluded. And when you ask your provider to explain it to you, they'll tell you to go to your advisor. The reason for that is that it is cheap for a reason. Let us be diligent to do our work and make sure that we engage with our policy provider, make sure that we understand what we're buying, and making sure that cheap doesn't mean that it's the right policy for you. And like I said, we give a complimentary. I'm sure Joshua will give my link, a booking link here where you can have a 45 minutes free to you. You don't have to go ahead. You can just show me your policy and I can tell you what is there, what is not there. And like I said, I work independently of all these providers. I can have a one-to-one meeting with the underwriters or with the BDM, we call them, okay? I can help ask specific questions for you. Now, critical illness for children being diagnosed. Now, I want to, money is one of the things that we help. I don't have money. I can assure you that we have policies starting from just £6 to protect your children if something should happen to them. If I ask us to put up our hands, how many of us have gone to Burger King, to McDonald's? How often do you go on a weekly basis? You will see that it is where we put our priorities. It's not as if we don't have this money, but it is what is important to you. Please check your bank statement. Look at your expenses for a month. Look at where your money is going. You find out that actually, can you reduce the amount of time you go out so that you can have a peace of mind, so that you can have a certainty that if anything should happen to any member of your family, there is a financial benefit that will be paid to them. Okay? Now, I have what we call the risk report, which can be personalized to you. I was giving some statistics. I can also give you a risk report that is tailored to you to tell you the risk of any of these things happening to you. So essentially, I just need your name, your age, and I'll generate the report for you. And if that's one thing I can give you today, it will just help you to understand that, okay, when we're young, we don't tend to have any of these things happening to us. But as we get older, they become real. Are you going to take the chance, or are you going to do something about it? So you can reach out to me again, and I'll give you this free for you to keep. And it just tells you statistics. And as you know, it's based on the work that's been done. And definitely you want to make sure that you know your own, like I said, we need to take responsibility for our own self. All right. Now, many of the policies, this is one of the things that you can benefit from. I'll take just one here, PSA for men. If you're 40 years old, you should, on an annual basis, especially if you're from the African or Caribbean descent, you should go to your GP and ask them that you want a PSA done on a yearly basis. They will not ask you. They will not tell you. You have to go there and you have to find time to book the time with them. You're busy. You are not, you do it tomorrow. These are excuses. And now the reason why you need to do that is that it can tell you how you are. It's like, we call it the MOT check, okay? It will check every single blood sample. They'll just take a blood sample and they'll be able to analyze that and tell you exactly, how you're doing and what you need to be doing. So you can monitor, you can improve your life chances by doing all these things. Now, many of the providers, depending on who you're with, they give complimentary support services that, because you have a policy with them, you might have access to remote GP. What that means is that if you're a busy person, you don't ever have to go back to your GP. It means that you can just call for a consultant in the UK to talk to you over the phone anytime, 24-hour, 24/7, because you have a policy. But you need to have the policy to be able to benefit from this. Now, can I also tell you that there are policies that if they cannot treat you in the UK, so far, can I just caveat that everything I'm saying today, you have to be UK resident. You have to have lived in the UK for 2 years, okay, to have access to everything I'm talking about. So if you're not in the UK or you're just here, you just need to wait for 2 years, and you need to be registered with a GP for you to benefit from many of these things, because it's for UK residents, okay, only. Now, some of these policies, if there is a cure for your ailment and it's not currently in the UK, they can actually take you abroad, or check whatever is, you can get the support from anywhere in the world. They will pay for your flight. They'll pay for your accommodation with an accompanied person. They'll pay for the treatment. And when you get back to the UK, they'll give you about £50,000 to look well. Now, it all depends on how much you pay to make sure that you get these things. And some of them, they are complimentary services that cost about £3. However, you need to have got the policy first for you to have the complimentary services you have. Some can give you nutritional support, meaning that you have 6 sessions in a year where you have a dietitian that will tell you, this is the combination of nutrients you need to have for your breakfast. So it's not, all these things are not for the rich and the celebrity. It is available to everyone that wants to take advantage of all these services. And all these things can cost you a fraction of money to get all these things done. Health check, many of them now have a check on a yearly basis, like I said. So please reach out to me if you like to have a personal discussion about how you can get all these things. And some statistics in terms of insurance do not pay. Now, these are the claims that's been made. These are the amount of money, okay? In the year 2020, £6.2 billion was paid to UK. People that are suffering from critical illness, income protection or claims, and life insurances. They do pay. But the only thing I need to say is that you cannot hide anything from the provider. If you have an existing medical condition, please disclose it, because many of these policies will not pay for non-disclosure. You need to give accurate and complete information when your advisor is asking you questions. And that's the reason why they only give policies to people that are registered with a GP. Because when you apply, it's not automatic that you're going to get it, even if you have the money. They want to check that you're giving them accurate and complete information. They might want to check your medical record. And I'll give you another hint today. If a provider should go to your GP and request for your medical record, obviously you have to give them the consent first. They can take as long as they like to give that information to them. In fact, they'll pay about £120 before they can get that report. But if you ask it, because you have a freedom to your, to your data, they have to give it to you within 30 days. So you can work together with your advisor, and if you don't have one, you can work with me. And we can make sure that if you're not sure what is on your record, you can have access to your record. For example, I have a client who cannot remember what is on their record, and they've requested that they want to get that done first before they then go through the medical questionnaire, which you're mandated to give. So please, if you see on social media, insurance did not pay, ask them the same question. Did you disclose all those things that you were, you had? And is that why? I'm sorry to say, I just had today, one of my clients who, unfortunately passed today. And I can tell you that because they've taken the decision to protect themselves, the family, the mortgage is paid off, critical illness is paid off, they will live a life that's, is meaningful. But unfortunately, sorry for the loss of the family, but financially they're protected. And because they take adequate protection for themselves. These things are real. That's why I'm passionate about it. And all I'm here to do is to give you the information. You can then decide to do whatever you feel fit for yourself and your family.
Yeah.
Now,
Sorry, Kay, can I just to chip in here? I'm sure everybody is aware of this growing culture in our community where people resort to WhatsApp groups for fundraising when a loved one passes away. And like Toyin said, I think it's the most embarrassing thing that I've seen in recent times. I don't know how that culture started, but it's increasingly alarming that people have to do this. And I'm just alluding to what you're saying, because if we really take that time to engage a financial advisor to plan our retirement or death or whatever it is, because those things are real, then our families would not have to be subjected to that very embarrassing culture where groups are set up to contribute to bury somebody. I find it most strange and unusual. And this is happening every day. Somebody's mom passes away, a group is set up and people begin to contribute. Somebody's father passes away, a child, I don't understand it. But I'm just saying, if we can take something away and share this message in our different communities, in our circles, in our networks, for people to begin to get aware or become aware of what they can actually do to forestall some of these things, that would really help all of us as a community.
Fantastic.
Does anybody agree with me? Or is that normal? Is that okay?
I totally agree.
Yeah, because
yeah. Thank you for that contribution. And yes, and that's the reason why I want to commend the BABN for putting this together, because you've reached out to me to come and talk about this because you want to address it. And like I said before the meeting started, we can only pass the information. So the people that will take the action are well done if you're already taking care of that, because I know many people have done that already. It's just that the more we can spread among our network, the more we can encourage our community to go ahead and do these things, because it is only, I won't say, others are not doing, but I'm telling you predominantly in terms of statistics, we don't naturally do all these things because we say God is going to protect us. Yes, God has given us a brain to do those things. So let us not blame God that God is God is my provider. Yes, God has given us a brain. And that's why this product exists, so that we can take the action, the decision we need to take. We need to take responsibility for those things. And let us come out of this GoFundMe. It is not nice. It shows that somebody has not taken adequate preparation, and we can change that by this awareness, by talking to people that we know, by reviewing the policies that we have. Now, these are, cases of clients, various ones that I have here to share with you. I'm not sure how much time I have, but I think the message is clear. We need to make sure that we review what we have. We need to make sure that we have adequate protections in place. And one last thing that you might not know is this. It does not cost you anything, as in, oftentimes I hear, oh, how much are you being paid? You should not worry about what I'm being paid because I have a family to feed as well. What you should be worried about is that, does it do what it has to do? Have you been adequately advised? And are you taking a decision that is good for you? Yes, the insurance company or the provider will pay my company, and from there I'll get commission because I do these things. I do all the reading. I spend time to cross-check what they got, make sure that it's okay for you. And the guarantee that you have is that your policy needs to be right for you for 4 years before I get paid. You might say, well, okay, how do you do that? It's because I will not engage with you unless I know that, one, you have the budget, two, you can adequately provide for yourself, and you have 30 days to look over those policies to make sure that it is the right one for you. All these things are being done to make sure that you have a peace of mind that as long as you have disclosed, you've been accurate, and you've given all the information that you've been asked. Even if you're not sure, just say it, because they can check and tell you that it's okay, you're going to be covered, than for you to have a condition and you're not saying it. So we need to be honest, we need to be truthful, and we need to be accurate. All right? Those are the three things that needs to happen for those things to pay, but they do pay.
And I just say thank you for the clarity about giving all the information, because in our community, we're used to holding back on certain conditions under the disguise that it's not my portion. And it's very, very important that whatever the health condition is, please declare it.
Okay, so these are some of the statistics misconceptions. Like I said before, the state is going to pay for me. No, the state is not going to pay for you, because the state has a limit. And as you know, every politician comes in and tell you that, yes, this is the cap on the state benefit. Now, think about how much you're earning at this point in time. Think about the maximum amount, less than £100 to tell you. Would that go anyway? And if you don't want the states to be giving you that kind of ridiculous amount of money, I haven't spent so much in your career earning a lot of money, only to now rely on the state. You want to do those things yourself. Now, I'll wait a few years. I've said to you, you don't know what is around the corner. People that are young are getting all these things, critical illness, they're getting better, they're being cured, but you don't want it to happen to you. It's too expensive. I've just told you, with £6, you can protect a child. And not just a child, you can protect everyone in your family, okay? Obviously, the more money you can put aside to protect yourself, the more the benefit will be. But please, money is not an issue. If you can go out, if you can have your breakfast and have everything, definitely you can find the £6 to protect yourself. I'm not saying everybody's going to get £6, but I'm just telling you that it is that cheap. A life cover, maybe I'll give you some statistics so that you can see exactly what it is. So if you're a non-smoker, if you're 30 years old, if you take a policy out when you are 30 years old, it's going to cost you around £8. For the same policy, if you wait another decade before you do the same thing, it costs you around £10. If you then wait till 50, it's going to cost you the same thing. Yeah, £17. So you can see more than double the same policy. So that's why I said when you're 18, that's when you should be thinking about this, because that's the cheapest time to get that thing. And you can cover your whole career, meaning that for 40 years or 50 years, it means that you can be covered. That is a financial intelligence. That is how people, get better financially over time. It is not done. It's not something that they wish that thing and it just happened. They put plan in place. They monitor those plans. They review those plans on a yearly basis, and they get better. So that's how wealth are actually created. All right. It's a fallacy to think that, okay, I'll just wake up one day and everything will be okay. No, it's a pipe dream. It's a dream. A plan means that we need to take an action. Action means that you have to, dedicate a piece of your time to have this difficult conversation, but have it when you can. Because as you probably know, you need to protect yourself before it's too late. No one, no provider will listen to you once you've had those things and you're now saying you want it. But the good news for you is that I have a product that even when you've been diagnosed with these things, I can still get you a cover. Only one product I will give you that. But if you want to reach out to me in terms of, someone that's already gone through that, it's unfortunate, but I have a product. And the reason for that is that we give it as a compliment, kind of like a thank you for, staying with us. We can protect many of those things, not as much as we would have loved to, but something is better than nothing, okay? So, it's too expensive, I said to you. Do you have a TV subscription? Do you have a Netflix? Is your thing? And you can't do without it. In fact, your FA Cup and stuff like that, you watch it every time. Please just check. You can either have a subscription to Netflix or you can have £100,000. I'll repeat that, £100,000. Or GoFundMe for £1,225 from the whole community. What would I buy? It will not buy a coffin. You know, I just want you to think about it. 100,000 check being given to your family. Unfortunately, something has happened. Or Netflix, because it's your thing, you have to, you have to enjoy. You have to, this is how you unwind. Yes, you can unwind, but you can unwind by just doing a little bit. Or you like pizza, okay? These are just to make us see that instead of us doing some of those things, we can sacrifice, or cinema, whatever it is, a holiday, okay? You have to have a yearly holiday. So please just think about all these things, all right? And yes, like I said, well done if you have a savings that will last you for about 5 years. But statistically, this is the how long it takes on average in the UK before people run out of money. 4 weeks. And some will tell me that, okay, 2 weeks I cannot pay my bill if I cannot go to work. Even though you might earn thousands of pounds, as the money is coming in, it's going out as well. So it's not different from somebody that's not earning much and the money is still going out anyway. So what you want to do is to make sure that you have a policy that covers you for all these things. Okay? Again, I've got some, I can share this with you, but summary, what we're trying to do is that we're trying to show you, so Paul had a stroke. You can hear about maybe I'll put it in the platform for people to watch. Okay, I'll put all these things there so that you can see how people that have protections, how they've been able to survive. And the ones that do not have the protection, and these are live data, meaning that you can actually, these are things that have happened, and they've given the consent for us to share this. That's why you have them, okay? And yes, life cover is the cheapest one, and that's why people go for life cover, okay? It's not for you, and £7 can give you £100,000. So with £12, you can get about £250,000, depending on your personal circumstances, okay? Now, I want to emphasize on critical illness and income protection. What you notice here is that critical illness cover is more expensive than life cover. You know why? Because it pays out more. Because it happens more. Things that happens more, you have to pay a little bit more money. If you have a medical condition, you pay more. So there's no free lunch. Okay, these companies are there to make money, to make investment, and they want to be profitable. So they use actuary to determine how much should you pay. All I'll say is that you shouldn't worry about how much you're paying. Think about the quality of the lifestyle that you enjoy currently, and you're paying that money to make sure that it is guaranteed. It is certain that in this life, you will never, ever go below the amount of money that you have. That's what insurance does, that's the purpose of an insurance for you, okay? And so the cost of the monthly guide is there for you to see. And I just feel that I should talk briefly about mortgage. So we're okay, we're protected. Financial protection is the bedrock to financial security. But we don't just want to protect ourselves, we want to have a legacy. We want to make sure that not only do we thrive and we do well, and having a mortgage for your own home is the basic thing that everybody should have. But after that, you can have what we call the investment properties as well. You can have commercial buildings, you can have all sorts of things. And as a firm, we can look at all those things for you. But I just wanted to, because I appreciate the time for everyone here that's got all these protections. I know that, yes, you've done the right thing. Thank you very much for your family. On behalf of your family, I just want to say thank you, okay? Because you're not doing it for yourself. You love your family, and you think they're important to you. It is not about what you say, it is about what you do. So I just want to commend you, because it's always a privilege when I meet people from my community that have actually done this thing, and they review it on a yearly basis as well. So I just want to commend you, because it makes me feel proud that, yes, I'm appreciative of you. So thank you so much. And I'm sure your family loves you for that. And I hope nothing bad happens, but should anything happen, you have your protection in place. So when I talk about mortgages, there are different types. You can have your first home, which is your first time buyer. You can have a remortgage, meaning that you have a fixed, mortgage. And after 2 years or 5 years, you want to review that. So we can do those things for you as well. So it means that we can go to different lender. And one thing I want to emphasize here is this: if you go to your bank every time, probably you're not getting the best in the market. Your bank has a product, for example, NatWest. NatWest will give you NatWest mortgages. NatWest is in the market to make money. So it might not necessarily be the best product for you. So what you need is to have a financial advisor or a certified mortgage advisor like myself to look after those things for you, to make sure that you're paying the right money to the right bank at the right time. And if you have a buy-to-let, so buy-to-let means that you're now having a tenant to live in a property, then you get the money and you put it aside, even if you don't need it now, for your pension and for your retirement. I can help you with that as well. And many people are getting more clever by putting it in an SPV. SPV is a special purpose vehicle, meaning that instead of you, paying tax, for whatever reason, you want to lock it in a limited company, meaning that it's separate from you. And all you do is that you trade only on property. I can help with those things as well. It's becoming popular, so we call it a limited company buy-to-let. And of course, if you're doing commercial, mortgages as well, maybe your rent, you're not buying things like streets, things like you don't want to have a commercial, you want to have a service apartment, you want to have an hotel, you want to borrow money against, So essentially, we work with a lot of partners that we will be able to recommend what you do. So that's why I said that OpenWork is one of the biggest and largest investment, mortgage, and protection network in the UK. It means that we have network of partners that we work with. And you talk to one person, and we can able to help you, guide you to make sure that you have access to all these things.
Okay, can I cut in there? Okay, sorry. So somebody asked, she said, or he said, what if I have bad credit? So can you address that and whether you offer those services? And before I hand over to you, I read a book many years ago. It's called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And it talks about passive income and your money working for you. So can you also touch on how we can generate passive income? For example, you have equity in your property and you take out that equity to invest in an investment property, etc. And your rental income obviously then turns to passive income, just so that we can broaden our perspective as well. But can you answer the question on the bad credit first, please? Thank you.
So
and people will have an opportunity to ask questions. We finish at 5:30, so please let people also have a chance to ask their questions. Thank you.
Yes, well, just this is the last slide I've got. So you're good to know that I have answers. I'll be able to take more questions from now. So you have a bad credit. The way I'll answer that is that a client of mine just got keys to their own home. They've been on the market, or they've been desiring to get a property for they have the money, they have the income, but because they have a bad CCJ, it is. And I've been able to, get them today. £401,000 is the value of the property around in Kent. And for the first time, not only did they get a property, but they get a property that they want. And the reason is that I work with a large number of lenders, meaning that if you can forego a little bit of the rate, so meaning that you might not get the most, for example, now we have about 3.84 in the market, even though the Bank of England rate is around 5%, but actually I have lenders that will give you 3.84, okay? But because of the bad credit, we're able to place them with the right lender because they all have the lending criteria that they follow. It's not the same. Some will look, at your, income, a multiplier of your income. Some will lend you. So for example, I give this one for this client. It's called Pepper Money. You might probably not have heard about this lender, but they're doing phenomenally well, especially with our community, knowing that, okay, oftentimes people do not know what they don't know. They run into a problem with their credit and they are now struggling because of that. I can assure you that I've placed several mortgages offer for clients that have bad credit, okay? And Pepper Money is a good one to do those kind of things. So essentially, I talk on your behalf after I've looked at your credit report. In fact, I'll give you probably what I'll give to everybody today as another compliment is that if you're on this, you can get your credit report. So that's the first thing we start with because we want to know exactly how much information is out there to make sure that we can place you with the right lender. And yes, we can help you. Obviously, it's going to be a personalized services, meaning that I will need to get your credit report. I'll look at that and I'll talk to lenders on your behalf before we place the application to the lender. So yes, we welcome people, provided you have income. You need to have income, and we have what we call the affordability check, meaning that, If you have loans and you have debts, you have credit, card and stuff like that, we need to make sure that you can still sustain yourself. And different lenders will have a different criteria. But the good thing is that we have softwares that will analyze, do the research, and will come out with the ones that we can talk to. So it saves us a lot of time. And that's why you pay for the services, okay? You pay for the services because the job will match you with the right lender so that there's no hesitation about getting that. And to talk about Rich Dad, Poor Dad, oftentimes we read small book. I would say that, yes, I will have to acknowledge that is one of the books that I've read that have actually transformed the way I work. Like I said, I was in education for 20 years, but I read that book and I did something different. And I'm grateful and I'm still very thankful that I read those kind of books because they inspire you to begin to do something. In fact, another one would be The Richest Man in Babylon. Please, they are very classic books, but they will teach you the fundamentals. So I work in spreadsheets. I love spreadsheets because you want to know your income, you want to know your outgoings, then the rest will be your wealth. And if you don't do those things, you need to start from there. You cannot wish yourself to prosperity. You need to control what comes in. You need to control what goes out. And there are budgeting tools. It's a journey. We are all on different journeys. Some of us are fantastic. We have all these things sorted out. But this session today is to make sure that at least we're all starting from somewhere. So I'll encourage the person that asked that question to reach out to me privately, and I'll be able to give you a complimentary 45 minutes. And if Joshua can send me the link out there, you can book a session with myself and I can look in detail. And I'll also send you a free complimentary credit report from all the credit companies. So you can get that free of charge for 30 days. And then we can review what are the things that you have. You just have to have a conversation. At the end of the day, is either a yes or a no, but at least don't sit in silence. The purpose of this session, I'm sure everyone will tell you, is to give you the information. So whatever you do with the information, we do not have a control over those things. All right. So lastly.
Sorry, before the last one. So Joshua, can you write Kay's number, please, for all our attendees to take advantage of what is offered?
Okay,
So
I would
post his
share
number.
yes, I'll share the link you sent to me now. I'll share it on the
yes, if
chat.
you can share it, please. Okay. And then Kay, somebody said you should please mention the books. I talked about Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Is I've forgotten the name again.
Robert Kiyosaki.
Yes,
you should read
Rich Dad. If you Google it, you'll have it there. And you talked about another one. There was another one you mentioned.
Richest Man in Babylon.
Richest Man in Babylon. Yes. Rich Dad, Poor Dad transformed my thinking. And that is the mindset that we're after today. We want to create wealth. We want our community to begin to prosper. It is on the back of what we keep talking about, growth and success. This is what we need to do, to open up our minds to possibilities, because there is so much out there that we can benefit from. So Kay, please carry on, and then we'll have an opportunity to ask questions. So if you have your questions, please get them ready, and Kay will address your questions very shortly. Go ahead, Kay. Thank you.
So thank you so much for the opportunity to present today. I do not take it for granted. And what I like to say is that, like I said before the meeting started, we need to start from somewhere. I do not patronize Black businesses. Ask yourself, what's the reason? I do not do this. I have other, let's stop this conversation. Let's be inclusive. Let's begin to actually give opportunity to our brothers and sisters that are in businesses. It's not easy to be an entrepreneur, I can tell you that, but we need to do better. I'm part of some, organization, which I'm sure everyone you know about it. We're looking for ways to collaborate, not just community, but with other communities as well. So all I will say is that some people will come and give you flowers. I go out, I give checks. I give checks, meaning that it means that you have a certainty because you come in contact with me. I hope you never have to, receive that from me. But if that is the case, at least financially you're protected. Thank you so much for today. I'm ready for questions now. And my details, I've got a quote there, which is very important to me. I said, protect your future today because peace of mind is priceless. But waiting until it's too late can cost you everything. Truly, it can cost you everything. So thank you again. And here's my detail there. And I'm happy to take questions.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, can I ask anybody who is interested, can you put your details up again so people can take a snapshot if they
Yep.
want? I
So
believe they want to.
yeah.
Yeah.
Your details you actually get to him is also on the chat. So you can
Yes,
just
yes, but this is easier. Just people can take a snapshot. So on behalf of the British African Business Network, we would like to say a very big thank you to our member, Kay Otedola, for this very exciting, insightful session. And I also want to encourage many people or some people who are not part of our network to join BABN. I'm not asking you to join because we want your subscription or for anything else, but principally to encourage that collaboration within the community. This is what we need to do, to work together, to pull together, to support one another, to grow. And we keep saying this is how the Jews and the Asians have done it. And we know this as a fact, that they work together, they collaborate, and they grow and they succeed. I mean, they are leading. On my high street, you have all the corner shops are owned by Asians. How have they done it? This is what we want to translate into our own community in the African business community. So please engage, reach out to us and become part of this work that we are doing. It's work that needs to be done, and it's for all of us, it's for our community. We need to begin to shine. We need to begin to excel. We need to begin to grow, and we need to begin to succeed. So BABN is a call to action, is a call to collaboration, and it's a call for change. So let us get on board and please be part of this journey. So I'd like to say a very big thank you to everybody who has attended today. Follow up with Kay, follow up with us, and we will be very, very happy to have you with us. So any questions? There must be questions. There must be questions. Any
yes.
questions? Yes,
Yes,
please
so
go ahead.
somebody has a question earlier, so I just want to read it up.
Okay.
Yeah, it said the lump sum you equally mentioned here, is it based on the amount of premiums paid monthly, age, or income? For example, how much will it cost as a monthly premium for a £500,000 lump sum?
Okay, thank you. It's all those things. It is based on your budget. So how much premium do you want to pay per month? It is based on your age. As you get older, it becomes more expensive for the same product. And also it depends on how much benefit you want. So for £500,000, I can get you a quick quote that would, tell you exactly that. So that's why it's personalized. It is based on your the answer to the medical question that I'm going to ask you. And it doesn't matter which company gives you the best, we will go to that company. I hope that answers that.
Q&A session, more questions? Anybody has any questions?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, there's another question. It said, what are the reasons a policy could be terminated by an insurance company?
Okay, a policy can be terminated most of the time because of non-disclosure. Non-disclosure means that you're aware of something going on in your body. You haven't disclosed that information when you're asked. So my answer to that is that please disclose. Say how you're feeling. If, for example, you're told to go and do a medical check, even if you have not done it, say that I've been asked to go to do a medical checkup, but have not been able to do. What we will do is that we will hold them. You'll be cleared, then we'll put the policy in place. Okay, so it is better that you do those things than for you to have a policy that you're paying for, only for you to now want to claim. And unfortunately, you might not be around when those things happen and they check your file because they have access to your file. You're given a consent that they can take your file. So please, let's make sure that if you're not sure, I've just given you a hint today. The company has 30 days to respond to you with your medical history for as long as you want it. You might want it for 10 years. They have to oblige you. They have to give it to you. But when the providers ask the same question, they need to first of all pay £120 to get that report. They might not give it to them for 6 months. So that's the way things work. So if you really care about, your protection, please support and let's make these things happen. All right.
Can I also mention that even if you have a life policy and you do get diagnosed with something new, you're supposed to actually update, isn't it, with the policy?
Good question. Can I just say that this is a fantastic question, actually. It is what has happened to you before the inception. If you bought it today and tomorrow something that happened to you, no, you don't need to disclose that, because
Okay.
that's the risk. That's the risk that they are taking. And that's why you need to do it as soon as possible, not tomorrow, not when you feel like. You need to do it now that if you're okay and nothing is bad has happened to you, that is the more reason. Even if you're starting with as little as £1,000 benefit, it is still £1,000 that could potentially be paid till you're 70. Multiply 1,000 by 12, multiply by the number of years before you retire. It might look insignificant, but if it's paid over a long period of time, that's some money to give you comfort while you look after yourself. So you disclose only thing until that day that you put the policy in place. Afterwards, they will cover you if anything happens to you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. That's very important to know.
More questions? More questions? More questions on wealth creation? That's my heartbeat. Creating wealth for our community. That's the only way we can grow. That's the only way we can make an impact in the British economy. Wealth creation. So that's what this is about as well. Creating wealth for ourselves, for our families, for our young children, doing something different. So any questions, anybody?
Okay.
So we want to be part of the statistics, £25 billion a year contribution to the British economy. That's what the ethnic minority businesses are doing for the UK. We want to be part of those statistics in our community to grow wealth, to create wealth, to spread the wealth within the community. And at BABN, we constantly discuss various projects that people can participate in. So this is what this is about. Wealth creation, protecting ourselves, our families, our health. Health is wealth.
That's right.
Without the health, we can't even do any of this. So that's the key thing. Any more questions, anybody? Are we all comfortable? Are we all okay? Are we all protected? I haven't heard anybody say, okay, I'm reaching out to you. Yes, he has the link there, but I would expect people to say, yes, I'm definitely contacting Kay.
Thank you, Zainab. I can see the virtual clap.
Okay.
All right.
All
I'm
right.
glad that
Thank you. Thank you also very much for attending once again. Thank you, our own Kay. You're one of us, part and parcel of BABN. Thank you. Thank you so much for the insightful webinar. We've had a wonderful session, exciting session. Knowledge is power. Our mission is to empower our community. And this is how we can do it.
So thank you, everyone.
Thank you. That's Zainab. Thank you, Zainab.
Yeah, thank you, Zainab.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
David, Amy, Chika, Toyin, our Dr. Toyin. She's a medical doctor.
Thank you.
A pillar in BABN. Thank you. Thank you, Joshua. Always anchoring, always navigating. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. So
thank you, everyone.
See you again.
Have a great evening,
by the way,
everyone.
this is a monthly session that we have. And like I said in the beginning, it's part of a capacity building exercise to empower the community. So every month we have a webinar at the end, the last Saturday of every month. So watch out for this, more information to follow. But the important thing is to join the network and be part of this work. It's for all of us. It's for our community. We want to be celebrated. We want to be noticed. We want to be visible. We want to begin to succeed, to make a real impact on the UK economy and the UK society as a whole. So thank you so much. Thank you,
I
everybody.
would also love for everyone to share their feedback on the WhatsApp group. How
Not
fantastic.
everybody is on your WhatsApp group. That's
That's
why
true.
I've been talking about people joining the WhatsApp group. So
Okay.
can you share the link?
link,
Can you share
yes,
our link
yes,
to join BABN as well? Yes.
yes.
If you share our link to join the platform and also the email address, if anybody wants to reach us by email. Yes,
Yeah.
so let us keep pushing. Let us keep pushing. We must become visible in the UK on the economic landscape. We must make a difference. We must make an impact. The British African business owners, business community, business network. This is what our heartbeat is, to make that difference, to make that change. So let's join the train. It's a fast-moving train. Let's all join this fast-moving train and begin to engage and make this happen for our community. So that's our link on the screen. Share it again, Joshua, if you just leave it there for a few minutes. Yeah. And then, so Kay, thank you once again. You
Thank you
are
for having me.
awesome. So
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, and we will continue to share. So the slides will be on the platform later today or tomorrow for anybody who is interested. So thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. See you again. Bye.
Everyone. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.